My mother called me 3 years ago with her lab results. She was reading the numbers out loud, and when she got to the EGFR, I felt my stomach drop. 61, borderline. And then she told me what she'd been eating, every single day. Foods I, as a kidney specialist, should have warned her about years earlier. After more than 2 decades treating kidney disease, I missed it in my own home. And if it can happen to a nephrologist's parent, it can happen to yours. In the next 8 minutes, I'm going to show you the 4 foods I now refuse to let my own parents eat, and exactly why your kidneys depend on you knowing this today. Let me start with something most people don't find out until it's too late. After age 40, your kidneys quietly lose about 1% of their filtering capacity every single year. That sounds small, but do the math. By the time you reach your 70s, you may have already lost 25 to 30% of your kidney function. No pain, no swelling, no warning, just a number on a blood test, slowly moving in the wrong direction. The National Kidney Foundation estimates that roughly 37 million Americans are living with chronic kidney disease, and nearly 90% of them don't know it yet. So here's what I need you to understand first, because it changes everything. The standard measure of kidney health is called your EGFR, your estimated glomerular filtration rate. Above 60 is considered normal. Below 60 means your kidneys are already working at reduced capacity. And when that number drops below 60, the rules about food change completely. Maybe you've noticed this in someone you love. They're eating carefully. They read labels. They switch to whole wheat. They eat bananas every morning for blood pressure. They're having soup for lunch because it's easy and low in fat. They are genuinely trying to be healthy, and yet their kidney numbers keep getting worse. That's not carelessness, that's missing information. And this is exactly the cascade I see in my practice every single week. Here's how it works, and I want you to picture this like a chain reaction running in slow motion inside your body. Your kidneys act as your body's master filtration system, removing toxins, balancing minerals, and regulating fluid. When function begins to decline, 3 critical processes start to fail, and each one makes the others worse. The first is phosphorus overload. Your kidneys are responsible for removing phosphorus from your blood. Researchers at the National Kidney Foundation have directly linked elevated phosphorus, a condition called hyperphosphatemia, to accelerated kidney deterioration and dangerous vascular damage. Now, here's what most people never hear. There are 2 types of phosphorus: natural phosphorus found in whole foods and inorganic phosphorus, the kind added to processed foods as a chemical preservative. Your body absorbs natural phosphorus at 40 to 60%, inorganic phosphorus up to 100%. That's a staggering difference, and it never appears anywhere on a nutrition label. The second failure is potassium regulation. Healthy kidneys maintain potassium at a precise, safe level in your blood. When function is reduced, excess potassium builds up. And the American Heart Association has documented how elevated blood potassium can trigger dangerous, potentially fatal cardiac arrhythmias. Here's the cruel irony. The foods most heavily marketed to seniors for heart health, bananas, avocados, oranges, are among the highest potassium foods you can eat. The third failure is sodium retention. As kidney function falls, the ability to excrete excess sodium drops too. Sodium accumulates, fluid builds up, blood pressure rises, and elevated blood pressure then causes further kidney damage. It becomes a self-reinforcing cycle, each stage accelerating the next, silently, with 0 symptoms, sometimes for years. Here's what I see in my practice again and again. By the time someone finally feels something is wrong, the damage is already well advanced. That is why this conversation matters right now, before symptoms ever arrive. Stay with me, because I'm about to show you exactly which 4 foods trigger this entire cascade and what to replace each one with starting today. Now here's what actually works, and it's surprisingly simple once you know what to look for. The first food I will never let my parents eat again is processed and deli meats. Turkey slices, ham, salami, packaged sausage, hot dogs, any cured or preserved meat. A single 2-ounce serving of deli turkey can carry 500 to 600 milligrams of sodium. But the sodium isn't even the worst part. Look at the ingredient label. If you see anything ending in phos, sodium phosphate, disodium phosphate, phosphoric acid, that is inorganic phosphorus being pumped directly into the food as a preservative, and your body absorbs it at nearly 100%. When I tell patients this, their reaction is almost always the same. But I switched to turkey because I thought it was the healthy option. For someone with fully functioning kidneys, it may be fine. For someone with an eGFR below 60, it is a concentrated phosphorus hit delivered directly to kidneys that are already struggling to keep up. Step 1. Replace processed and deli meats with fresh cooked proteins. Plain chicken breast, canned tuna in water with no added salt, or eggs are all excellent swaps. When you're at the store, flip the package over and scan that ingredient list before anything goes into your cart. If you see the word "foes" anywhere on that label, put it back on the shelf. The second food is the one that surprises people the most, and honestly, it's the one that caught my own mother completely off guard: high potassium fruits. Now, before we go further, I want to be absolutely clear. I am not saying fruit is bad. I am saying that for anyone with an eGFR below 60, certain fruits deliver potassium loads that compromised kidneys simply cannot clear efficiently. Researchers publishing in the Journal of Renal Nutrition have documented the direct connection between high potassium foods and dangerously elevated blood potassium levels in chronic kidney disease patients. The main offenders: bananas, oranges, kiwi, and avocado. Genuinely healthy for people with normal kidney function, genuinely problematic for kidneys that are already under stress. Step 2. Shift to lower potassium fruits. Apples, blueberries, grapes, and strawberries are all kidney-friendly and still deliver fiber, antioxidants, and natural sweetness. Swap the morning banana for a cup of blueberries or a sliced apple. It is a small change that adds up to significant protection over time. Now, here's where people get confused, and this is the myth I challenge most often in my practice. The third food is whole wheat bread and bran-based cereals. I know that sounds completely backward. For decades, we were told whole grains were the cornerstone of healthy aging, and for people with normal kidney function, that advice is well supported. But whole wheat products are significantly higher in phosphorus than refined grains, and in a more bioavailable form than most people realize. The National Kidney Foundation's own dietary guidelines explicitly identify whole grain products as a category to limit when kidney function is compromised. Here is the counterintuitive truth. When your eGFR drops below 60, white bread and white rice are actually the better choices. Not because they are nutritionally superior in general, but because they impose a far lower phosphorus burden on kidneys that are already under stress. Step 3. Switch from whole wheat to white bread, and from bran cereal to lower phosphorus alternatives like cream of wheat or plain white rice. I know it feels counterintuitive. Bring this specific conversation to your doctor once you know your eGFR, because this is precisely the kind of guidance that almost never surfaces in a standard 15-minute appointment. The fourth food is canned and packaged soups and instant meals, and the numbers here are genuinely alarming. A standard can of soup routinely delivers 800 to 2,200 milligrams of sodium per serving. The CDC identifies canned soups as one of the single largest contributors to sodium intake in the American diet. For a kidney patient whose entire daily sodium budget should sit between 1,500 and 2,000 milligrams, one bowl of soup can consume more than half that budget before a single other thing is eaten that day. And many packaged soups also carry those phosphate preservatives we already discussed, compounding the damage with every serving. Step 4. Make soups at home using low-sodium broth, or look specifically for canned options labeled under 140 milligrams of sodium per serving. If you're using regular canned vegetables, drain them and rinse them under cold water for 30 seconds. This removes up to 40% of the added sodium. It takes almost no time, and it genuinely matters for your kidneys. But here's what might surprise you. The damage from all 4 of these foods is often completely silent for years. No pain, no swelling, no warning sign at all. That is precisely what makes the eGFR test so critical. The research is clear on this. Early intervention, before symptoms ever appear, is the only window in which dietary changes can meaningfully slow or stop the progression of kidney disease. Once you're symptomatic, the window is much smaller. Here is a simple routine you can put into practice starting tomorrow. In the morning, swap the banana for a cup of blueberries or a sliced apple. If you're having toast, use white bread instead of whole wheat. Spend 60 seconds checking your cereal's ingredient panel. If you see the word FOS, find a replacement. In the evening, if you're reaching for canned soup, choose a low-sodium version or make a quick homemade batch with fresh vegetables and no salt broth. And before your next grocery run, take 2 minutes to review the ingredient labels on any processed meat or packaged food already in your fridge right now. If you can't find low-sodium options at your local store, frozen vegetables with no added salt are an excellent alternative, often less expensive than fresh and just as nutritious. Now, some people ask me, Dr. Westfield, can I just take a kidney health supplement and skip the diet changes? Here is my honest answer. No supplement replaces dietary change. And here is the part that catches people off guard. Many standard multivitamins contain phosphorus and potassium at levels that are perfectly appropriate for healthy adults, but genuinely problematic for someone with compromised kidney function. Before your next appointment, ask your pharmacist to review every supplement you are currently taking. It is a 5-minute conversation that could protect years of kidney function. The goal after 60 is not just to live longer, it is to live better, with independence, with energy, with the ability to cook your own meals and walk your own street and be fully present for the people who love you. Start small. At your very next doctor's appointment, ask for one specific thing, your eGFR, not just creatinine, your eGFR. Write those 4 letters down right now. That single number will tell you whether the rules of eating have changed for you and whether the 4 foods I've shown you today need to come off your plate. If this video gave you something real to bring to that appointment, share it with someone over 60 who you care about. That share takes 5 seconds, and it is one of the most caring things you can do for someone you love. And if this was helpful, hit that subscribe button because every video I make here is built around one purpose, giving you the information that too often never makes it out of the exam room. Thanks for watching. I'm Dr. Mark Westfield, and I'll see you in the next one.